Okay guys, it's me again. Here we are with another episode of Riding Through History, where I take you on motorcycle adventures to interesting places. And today's episode, we're at Dobbins Air Force Base. And I don't know if you can see it very well, but there is a plane just to the right of that utility pole right there. There's a plane just to the right of that utility pole. And I hope it's getting ready to take off, because that appears to be a C5 Galaxy. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. See, the thing about Dobbins Air Force Base, which is about, we're about 14 miles due northwest of downtown Atlanta. And the busy street you see in front of you is U.S. Highway 41, which is the old U.S. Highway 41 that was the north and south route from Florida up to the Midwest. And of course through here it runs right from Atlanta on due north up to Chattanooga. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about today was the Dobbins Air Force Base, and then adjacent to that property is the facility of Lockheed Martin aircraft manufacturing facility. This base, I believe, is an active reserve base as well, and it appears that there's a couple of planes out there right now. But anyway, the manufacturing facility there manufactures those giant C5 Galaxy jets, which are the ones I think we're looking at right now. They are the largest planes that we fly in the U.S. military. Giant aircraft. You take a look at those things and you think, how in the world can they even fly? They're so big. But they do, and they fly very well, as a matter of fact. Move a lot of military men and equipment, men and women, I should say, and equipment to wherever it needs to be, anywhere around the world. Also manufactured at this facility is the workhorse of the Air Force and Army and National Guard, and the C-130, which is flown by many nations and in many places around the world. They have built, there's no telling how many, probably tens of thousands of those C-130s, because they're just such a versatile propeller airplane. They literally can, I don't know a lot about them, but one of the interesting facts about them is they can literally do such a short takeoff. They can land in an area and they don't have to turn around. They can land on a rough landing strip and then literally back up. They put the plane in reverse and back it up the length that's necessary for takeoff. Just an unbelievable aircraft. But another interesting fact about this base and this facility, this aircraft manufacturing facility here, is that during World War II, they built the B-29 bombers here. Now, Boeing actually had 3 facilities, and they had the contract to build the, there goes one of those C-5s. I don't know if he's going to take off or not, but we'll see. Looks like he might be. These things are incredible. When they fly over, their engines have a distinctive noise, a whine to them. And there he goes. He's lifting off right now. But anyway, as I was saying, the B-29s that were manufactured in 3 different locations, the primary one being Wichita, Kansas, prior to and just after World War II. It built, I think, in the neighborhood of 6,000 of those B-29s, of which 600, roughly 600, were produced at this facility. The B-29 was a really unique aircraft for the time, because it was the biggest and heaviest bomber that the U.S. Air Force had at the time. This airplane was capable of being pressurized, so therefore it could fly higher. It had a ceiling of around 33,000 feet, but it could fly higher and farther than anything else that us or any of our enemies possessed. And of course, it's the bomber that dropped the atomic bombs on Japan to end World War II. But the B-29 was an absolute marvel for the time. It had 4 giant internal combustion engines. It took a crew of 11 to fly that plane. And another one of the unique features about it was it had guns that were remotely controlled. That way the operator or the gunner could look out a glass observation port in a pressurized cabin and control the guns. It was an amazing machine at the time. There is a static display, and I'm going to ride up the street so that you can get a better look at the size of the factory. And then there's a static display. I'll do a ride by on the static display so you can see it as well. So here on the left is the manufacturing facilities of Lockheed Martin. Of course, during World War II, it was known as Bell Aircraft, and they received a subcontractor license to produce the B-29s at this facility as well as the others. That static display, I'm going to turn around and do a better drive-by, but you can just see the tail of it sticking up beyond the traffic over there. You'll get a better look when I come back in the other direction. There it is. You can see the gun ports on the top, the remotely controlled guns. Okay, and the B-29 static display is coming up here on the left. So that you can get a nice, clean look. Big airplane for the day. Of course, nowadays, not so much. And you can see there on the left how big those aircraft hangars are where the manufacturing is done.
And that's where they made the B-52 bombers. I saw a documentary on the History Channel a while back, and they were talking about how after World War II, we were really the principal weapons manufacturer for the entire world, because so many of the factories in Europe and in Russia were completely destroyed, during the war. So, in order for the Russians to catch up to us, they actually sent spies to the U.S., to the manufacturing facilities, to try to steal the technology for the B-52, because I'm sorry, that's the B-29, not the B-52. That's the other one. But anyway, for the B-29, because it was the absolute premier weapon of the day. But anyway, I can only imagine the Russians, coming to North Georgia and hanging out at the local bars and restaurants trying to find some good old boys to steal the plans and drawings from. Because back, you have to remember that back in those days, this was out in the boonies. This was we were out in the country. So like I said, I just can only imagine it was full of good old boys.
Right here on the left, on the back side of Dobbins, there is an airplane museum. And you can see there's a C-130 and a number of other planes in here. See if we can get a closer look. And as you can see, there's a number of planes there. Let me see if we can actually get into the entrance up here. It says this is the Marietta Museum of History Aviation Wing. Okay. And it says closed. It says it is closed. We are reopening the first week of March. Okay.